The darkness continues.
Peace, folk, and welcome back to another edition of the Prophet of Thought series right here on the old T.P.O.T. YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That is why your black asses are here. Well, I'm back with another. And yes, good folk, the darkness does continue. Now, today we are in the courtroom of the Honorable Judge Cedric Simpson. And it's been a while since we've been in Judge Simpson's courtroom, so I thought I would showcase him today. Judge Simpson, he's a little more versatile than the other judges that I bring you, good folk, because he doesn't just do criminal cases. He also does civil cases, landlord, tenant, and such. So he's quite interesting, and he gets quite a few interesting cases that come before his court. But today we are looking at some accused people who have allegedly committed some crimes. And like I said, Judge Simpson has some interesting cases. Some of them are bizarre, some of them are funny, and some of them are just totally insane. So we're going to take a look today inside Judge Simpson's court, where we see a bunch of crimes, confessions, kookery, and comedy. So, without further delay, let's get at it. And as always, fair use, Negroes. Fair use. Well, all right. As stated, we're in the courtroom of the Honorable Judge J. Cedric Simpson. And this is gonna be different. And you're gonna see a lot of things, but mostly what you're gonna see is crimes, confessions, kookery, and comedy. So, without further delay, let's get at it. And as always, fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Thank you. Court calls the case of the people versus Rakisha Washington.
Yep. Somebody named Rakisha. You already know this is about to be some foolery. But we continue.
Rachel McDuffie for the people.
Yes, my name is T.P.O.T. Washington.
All right. Yep, I've seen her sitting there all morning. All right, ma'am.
Yes.
You are before the court on a complaint that alleges that on or about August 11th, 2022, location of 8814 MacArthur Boulevard, that you recklessly and or carelessly discharged a firearm causing damage to property over $50.
Uh-oh. Rakisha with the kaplow. What she shot up, I guess it wasn't worth that much, so damage over $50, I guess. But somehow, some way, she ended up firing a gun and damaged something with the pistol. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Understand the nature of that charge, man?
No, I don't. I was actually just cleaning my
hold
gun.
on.
Yakety yak, yak, yak. She could have just stopped at no, but she couldn't do it. No, yakety yak, yak, yak. But we continue.
Hold on a second. I'm not asking whether or not you believe you did it. I'm asking, do you understand what you're charged with?
What am I charged with, sir?
He just read it to you. You just said no to what he just said. But now you're asking, what are you charged with? I mean, this is a problem, right? Especially with black folk. We have this thing where, I don't know, man, we can't communicate. We act like we don't speak English sometime. And it's an issue, right? Because you should be able to communicate with all people and in all situations for the most part, right? And it's like people only know how to communicate when they're in certain situations. If you put them somewhere different, it's like dropping them in the middle of an island where all the people speak Swahili, because now they don't understand the questions you ask. They don't answer them. It's nuts, right? Especially when you're talking about women, right? Because if you ask them a yes or no question, they have a tendency to answer the question with because, or this is what happened, or well, and it's like, wait a minute. I asked you a yes or no question. Why is your response beginning with because? I mean, if because is going to be in your response, it should be coming after the no or the yes. Well, at least she did that, right? She said no and then she responded. So there's some hope for her. But a lot of times you ask someone a question, a simple yes or no question that they can respond to pretty simply by yes or no. Their response begins with because. Now, wait a minute. This was a yes or no question. Why is your response beginning with well or because? Like I said, if you're going to put because in your response, it needs to become after the yes or no. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Let's do it this way. Ma'am, you are before the court on a complaint that alleges that on or about August 11, 2022.
Now he has to read the whole charges out because she's obviously undergoing a failure to communicate. So what Judge Simpson will do is he'll reset, and he'll try it again a different way. But we continue.
Location of 8814 MacArthur Boulevard, Superior Township, Washington County, State of Michigan. The complaint alleges that on that date you did, because of carelessness, recklessness, or negligence, but not willfully or wantingly, did cause or allow a pistol under your control to discharge, and that discharge that it destroyed or injured property of Sycamore Met, that the injury or damage to the property was a value in excess of $50. Do you understand what you are charged with, ma'am?
Yes.
That is a misdemeanor, punishable.
See, you had to do all of that just to get the yes out of her. All of that. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
By up to 1 year incarceration and or a $500 fine plus court costs. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
First question I have for you is, do you wish to be represented by an attorney?
Yes.
It's a public defender case.
Well, at least now he's getting the yes or no that he's requesting. So I think she's going to be okay from this moment on. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Thank you. Assistant Public Defender Melissa Kleeman on behalf of Ms. Washington, and she stands mute and waives the formal reading of the charges. We're asking for a PR bond and an adjournment of the pretrial.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute, court will enter a not guilty plea. Pretrial in this matter will be adjourned February 21st, 2023, 8:30 before Judge Barr. The bond in this case.
Sorry, can you repeat that date again?
February 21st, 2023, 8:30. Judge Carl Barr.
Now, will that be in person or on Zoom?
You'll have to contact his chambers. My understanding is it will be via Zoom.
Yes, it will be via Zoom because he don't want your non-communicating ass inside the courthouse. But we continue.
Bond in this case will be set in an amount of $5,000. I will give a personal recognizance privilege on that. I will order standard conditions, including no assaultive behavior, no possession of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal drug. I will also indicate that the defendant is to not possess any weapon, firearm, ammunition.
Open your mind.
Now, this is standard. When you're accused of a crime and you're on bond, this is standard for you not to have alcohol, drugs, weapons, ammunition, things of that nature. That's something they do standard. And they definitely do it if you're charged with a gun offense. If you're alleged to have some type of gun offense, part of your conditions is you're out, you're not to have that gun. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Or anything fashioned to be a weapon. Do you understand that, ma'am?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I am a CPL holder.
Now that she understood clearly. Oh, I'm a CPL holder. That's your concealed permissions license, I believe that stands for, where you can actually, carry a gun. But it doesn't matter. You're accused of an offense where you allegedly shot something recklessly, and it is a misdemeanor. Therefore, part of your bond conditions is going to be you cannot carry your gun until this case is over. But we continue.
Did you understand my bond condition?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care that you are a CPL holder. Until this is over, don't get caught with that damn gun on you. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Your Honor, is the court in receipt of the bond recommendation form as well? We just have the two named individuals where the bullet went through their wall, so we wanted to request no contact with them.
Gotcha. Hey.
Well, I was cleaning my gun and it went off and shot through somebody's house. I wasn't thinking. Can't keep them damn babies quiet while she at the damn house. But we continue.
I think it is
Open your mind.
very...
Open your mind.
I can spell it out if you need.
No, I think I got it.
Okay.
Yes, I do have it.
The prophet of thought.
No contact, ma'am, with Tabitha Meese.
And no shooting through their walls again either.
And Michael Wykovics. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
You want that spelling?
She's a baby mama, but she reckless with the damn pistol that she got. Luckily, one of those babies wasn't in front of it. They would have been shot. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. The Meese is Meese. Wow, Kovic is Wylyk. Yeah, I see. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, reckless baby mama with a gun.
Profit of thought.
But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Court calls the case, People versus Mariah Donnell.
Rachel McDuffie for the people.
And good morning, Your Honor. Olga Yermolenko on behalf of Ms. Donnell was present via Zoom.
Good morning. Could you state your name, please?
Mariah Donnell, Your Honor.
All right, there she is. All right, what are we doing on these?
And Your Honor, as to the pre-trials, we do have a resolution as to both matters. And I do believe we need to address the bond violation we previously addressed 2 weeks ago. So I don't know what the court would like to start with.
Why don't we start with the bond violation? You're breaking up on me a little bit, Ms. Yermolenko, but
Now, they're starting with a bond violation on her. So obviously she was out on bond, did something stupid, and now she's back in jail because she violated her bond conditions. But we continue.
I'm sorry, Judge, I am in the building at 14A1 and the internet connection is a little slow,
Open
so
your
I
mind.
apologize.
Open your mind.
okay, that's weird. Okay, all right. Okay, there is a complaint of the bond violation. Well,
The profit of thought.
let me just check one thing. I had a couple of these. Okay, got it. All right. Well, why don't we do this? Because the bond violation, if there's a resolution, I think if she's admitting to the bond violation, could be wrapped up in terms of any sentencing, but.
He is admitted to the violations, Your Honor, to the bond violation.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anyway because she violated her bond and now she's in jail. I think she's been in jail a few weeks, so
Profit of thought.
whatever penalties for said bond violation, she's already served out.
All right, so what's the resolution?
You know.
All right, Ms. McDuffie, did you want to put that on the record or do you want me to?
Sure, no problem. I'm breaking up a little bit over here too myself. Let's see here. Okay, so the offer is for Ms. Donnell, and she has two cases. So in case 221-1384, Ms. Donnell can plead guilty to counts 1, 2, and 4 with the prosecutor's consent to HIDA, and I will dismiss count 3 in that matter, along with dismissing case number 221-1301 in its entirety.
And that is correct.
So she would plead guilty to counts 1, 2, and 4 in case 1384, with count 3 being dismissed, and the other matter would be dismissed in its entirety.
And it seems like the DA is throwing her a deal. The prosecutor's giving her a deal. She's dismissing more than half of the things she's charged with. So she's in pretty good shape. Even though she's sitting in a green jumpsuit, she's in pretty good shape. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes.
Profit of thought.
Fair use.
Correct.
Correct.
And Ms. Yermolenko, is that what she wishes to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Donnell, can you please raise your right hand?
Do you solemnly swear to lie about everything I'm about to ask you? Do you solemnly swear to
Open your mind.
not
Open your
do
mind. Open your mind.
whatever you're
Open
told
your
to
mind.
do
Open your
in
mind.
this courtroom today? And also, do you solemnly swear to be back in this damn jailhouse within the next 30 days? But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
State your name for the record.
My name is Mariah Donnell, Your Honor.
Ma'am, it is this court's understanding you're going to plead guilty to
Put your damn hand down.
3 misdemeanors.
Yes, Your
I'm
Honor.
sorry. There was the. Did you say HIDA on these?
Prosecutor's consent to HIDA, Your Honor, yes.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure I mark that. All right. First of all, this court's understanding, ma'am, you're going to plead guilty to attempted resisting and obstructing a police officer. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year and a $1,000 fine plus court costs. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's also this court's understanding that you're going to plead guilty to the charge of assault and/or assault and battery upon a Carmen Donnell. That is also a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days and a $500 fine plus court costs. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Also, this court's understanding you'll be pleading guilty to stated count 4 of disturbing the peace. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days and $500 fine plus court costs.
Oh, so she's one of them old raucous, violent, fighting, beating up folks and fighting the police people. But we continue.
You understand that, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Understanding all of that, you still wish to plead guilty
Yes, Your Honor.
to the charge of attempted resisting and obstructing. How do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
To the charge of assault and/or assault and battery. How do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
To the charge of disturbing the peace. How do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Now you understand that by pleading guilty, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Well, not for nothing. The charges that she has are relatively minor. She's probably only facing about a year in jail, which she probably wouldn't do that anyway. She'd probably do about 6 months. So, I mean, what she's facing isn't that serious. It's not that serious. It's really not. It's just that she has a lot of these things, and you know, they would run her time concurrent. Whatever sentence she's going to get, they're going to run it concurrent, meaning she's going to do time for all of it all at once. So, I mean, she's not facing, you know, it's not like she killed somebody. You know, the most time she would have gotten is probably about 6 months to begin with. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that as a result of that, you're giving up certain rights. You're giving up your right to call witnesses to speak for you at trial or to have this court compel their attendance. You're giving up your right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You're also giving up your right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent and not have that silence used against you. And you're giving up your right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You know.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you on probation or parole?
I don't think so, Your Honor. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, back in September of last year, were you under the jurisdiction of any other court?
What exactly does that mean? Does that mean was I incarcerated?
Had you been sentenced and
You don't know whether or not your ass was on probation or not? Come on, man. You know whether or not your ass was on probation or parole. But we continue.
maybe required to report to probation by any other court?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You've not been to prison?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today on the record to get you to plead guilty to these charges?
No, Your Honor.
Has anybody threatened you or coerced you?
No, Your Honor.
You're doing this voluntarily and of your own free will?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because you believe that you're guilty of these offenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
September 15, 2022, at the location of 9302 MacArthur Boulevard, and also at the location of 5301 Macaulay Drive in Superior Township, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan. Did you come into contact with police officers, deputy sheriffs?
I believe so, Your Honor.
You believe so, or do you recall coming?
You believe so? Did you do it, girl, or not?
Coming into contact with them?
If that was the day that I was, I think, taken to the hospital and then arrested, then yes, Your Honor.
And in being taken to the hospital and being arrested, in what way did you resist those officers, if you think that you did, or attempt to resist them?
When they told me to get out the police car to go in the hospital, I told them that I didn't need to go in the hospital and I didn't want to, and they had to carry me out the car.
Okay, so when they told you to get out of the patrol vehicle, you didn't get out of the patrol vehicle or follow their instructions. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And they were in the lawful performance of their duties when they were asking you to do that. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. On that same date, and I guess at the location of the MacArthur Boulevard address, what did you do regarding a Carmen Donnell that makes you think that you're guilty?
I believe me and her were arguing.
I believe we were arguing. She believed.
And I pushed her. So
Who is she to you?
she's my mother, Your Honor.
Beating up on her old mama. Well, old mama raised her. Like I always say, Dr. Frankenstein created Frankenstein, and when he created him, it was a magnificent thing. He had built a man out of dead body parts, and he couldn't believe it. And it was amazing until Dr. Frankenstein got out of the cellar and started killing the neighbors. Yeah, Frankenstein's great when you first make them, till they come out of the cellar and start killing people in the neighborhood.
Open your mind. Open your
But
mind.
we
Open
continue.
your mind.
Fair
Open
use,
your mind.
Negroes.
Open your mind.
Fair use.
Okay, so you pushed your mom.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 22, Your Honor.
You're not old enough to do that, but you pushed your mom, right?
I'm never old enough to do that, Your Honor.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking, but you did that. You did it on purpose?
Yeah, Your Honor.
And you didn't have your mother's permission to push her, did you?
Did you have old mama's permission to push her down on the ground? No, Your Honor. But we continue.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, going back to the hospital, when they got you to the hospital and they were taking you out of the vehicle, how'd you disturb the peace and repose of the area around the hospital when they were trying to get you out? Were you screaming? What were you doing?
I had asked, one of the nurses asked them to cover me up with a sheet. And then I repeated that and asked that, and I got louder when I asked, and then they ignored my request. So I got out of the wheelchair that they had put me in, and I just stood up, and then they had to carry me the rest of the way.
So in that respect, you disturbed the peace and repose of the area immediately surrounding you by your actions. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have I complied with the court ruling? Would it be proper to accept this defendant's pleas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor, people are satisfied.
Court will accept the defendant's pleas of guilty to counts 1, 2, and 4 in case 1384. Count 3 in that case is dismissed, as well as the case of 2213.
Well, she's guilty of all of this, and this is her confession. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
01 is also dismissed pursuant to the plea agreement. Defendant is referred to probation for a pre-sentence investigation and report. Sentencing on this and the violation will be set for. Is she in custody? She's in custody, obviously. Is this the only thing holding her at this point?
I believe so, Your Honor.
All right, so what's my early date? February.
February.
The profit of thought.
Sentencing will be set for February 8th, 2023.
Now, she's in jail. She's already pled, right? She's already pled guilty. So if they wanted to, they could just keep her in there until sentencing, because obviously she's about to get probation or something, right? But her lawyer is pretty competent, right? Watch what a lawyer does. We continue.
9 a.m. Okay. Okay.
Judge,
Thank
may we
you,
address
ma'am.
bond?
You may go ahead.
Profit of thought.
Mayor, I would ask the court to consider releasing Ms. John Allen a personal bond. However, we would request that the court add a condition of a scram tether. Her previous violations all had to do with sober-link device. I think in order to avoid her not testing in a timely manner, I think the scram tether would be an appropriate alternative. Is the court able to hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes, I was able to hear you. Any response from the people?
Your Honor, the people would agree that a scram tether would be appropriate, given that a sober link is obviously something that Mr. Nell was not able to handle. But we also have the matter of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, something like 15 missed drug tests.
Oh, and she's a dope head on top of all of this other stuff. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
And the one that she did take was positive for THC. So we still are going to have a testing issue with substances beyond alcohol.
And Judge, Ms. Donnell does have she was previously living or staying with her father, who lived a little bit further away from this area. She now has a relative, her uncle, who resides on Frederick Street in Ypsilanti, who she's able to reside with. I spoke to Mr. Ford, her uncle, and he verified that her information.
You're going out. I'm sorry. I got Frederick, and then I didn't get anything else after that, Miss Yermalik.
Open
Now,
your
one
mind.
thing I
Open
can
your
say
mind.
about
Open your
Judge
mind.
Simpson,
Open
he
your
will
mind.
entertain whatever, whatever word salad, the defense attorney, tries to serve him. He will entertain it. You got to make it good, though. He won't eat it unless it's good. But we continue.
She has an uncle who lives at that address.
Okay.
I spoke to Mr. Ford, and he verified the fact that she's able to stay with him. So she would be nearby, which would help her with, testing and community corrections.
Does she work? I mean, what do you do during the day?
Gets high, obviously. She gets high when she ain't somewhere fighting the police. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
The profit of thought.
I work at the Union Rec, Your Honor. I mean, I don't know for sure if I still have my job now because I've been incarcerated for the past 2 weeks. But I do have a interview set up for, I believe, the 26th or the 27th of this month at E.B. Brown. So I am going to be getting a job. It has an immediate start date. I just have to make it to the interview. And then I do have a legal and up-to-date medical marijuana card. And I can bring all my documents in, and plus the actual card to community corrections to show them. And I can test twice a week if y'all need me.
Yeah, right. You couldn't even test before. She said you missed the 13 testing dates. But now you're going to test twice a week. They'll say anything to get up out of here. Which you can't blame them. Because I'm pretty sure sitting in the Michigan jail sucks. But they'll say anything to get up out of here. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
The profit of
Oh,
thought.
if I let you out, what's going on with you? Because you got this, you then had the violation.
And you hear what Judge Simpson's saying? If he says, if I let you out, that usually means he's going to let you out.
Open your mind. Open your mind.
That usually
Open your mind.
means
Open your mind.
you're getting out. But he's going to make you convince him a little more before he puts the key in the door. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
You got all those missed tasks. You can't follow the instructions on the sober link.
Yes, Your
Tell
Honor.
me why I should believe that you're going to do anything I ask you to do.
Because the main part with the sober link, it wasn't me, not wanting to blow. It was the time I worked. I worked from 2 p.m. to about 1 in the morning. And I was a line cook. So I never had, I would forget, time would get past me. And then the time I did test positive, that was all my fault. I willingly consumed alcohol, wasn't thinking about the consequences only because I had a bad day. I can promise you that no longer will happen.
I can promise you that will no longer happen, Your Honor. Because I have to say this to make it sound good as part of my confession to get out. But we continue.
Like Mrs. Amalinka said, that I do have somewhere I can stay now that's close, right in the middle of Ipsy, where I'll be able to have reliable transportation to community corrections. As many times as you want me to test per week, I can do it. It was just mostly that I was like over an hour away, so that was the hardest part. But now I'm gonna be in Ipsy, so I'll be able to comply with all the court's orders, and you won't have to worry about me missing one single drop.
Now look at the district attorney, top row, center square. The DA doesn't believe any of this crap. And I don't think Judge Simpson does either. But see, he's already made his decision that he's going to let her out. That's why he's asking her, if I let you out, what are you going to do? Because he's already made his decision. She's out the door. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Or anything.
Your Honor, may the people just inquire, Ms. Donnell mentioned that she has a valid medical marijuana card. When was that issued to you?
That was issued, I want to say August of 2022 or 21. I think it expires this August coming up.
So our concern is just compliance, because that card would have been issued to her and available to be provided to community corrections before she ever started testing on this case. So there wouldn't have been an issue with,
Right.
My concern is she was previously required to test twice a week, as she just volunteered to do.
Right.
So it's
Now, she's saying she'll test twice a week, but she was ordered to test twice a week before and wasn't doing it. But she wants the court to believe that she's going to do it now. She's had a revelation. Now she wants to do what they ask her to do. But we continue.
that's the people's struggle.
I'm sorry, Mrs. McDuffie. My understanding was I was only supposed to test once a week, even though I wasn't doing that either.
Now, I was only supposed to test once a week, but I wasn't doing that either. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
But I could say that now the issue was just I was very far. Now if I need to, I'll get on the bus. I will walk there. I'll make sure I get there. I will not let y'all down. If y'all are able to give me one more chance. And then the scram tether, I would rather have that because then I won't have to forget to blow, and then I'm always monitored. So I could just ask y'all, give me one more chance. I won't let y'all down at all.
Oh, baby, give me one more chance to show you I'm clean. 1, 2, 3, let me out of this jail. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Young lady, I don't know what's going on with you, but it just seems to me that what you do is you kind of decide you're just going to do stuff your way.
No, Your Honor. It's just things were out of my hands after what happened with my mom. Wasn't able to stay with her, so I had to stay with my dad.
Yeah, because you kind of forfeit that right when you hit your mama.
Yeah, kind of do, especially as a daughter.
Open your mind.
Because these old mamas only put up with that kind of crap from their sons. When you're a daughter, you can't do that. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
You're right, Your Honor.
Oh, I know I'm right. But that's what I'm saying. You just do what you want to do. And then you don't do, and you're just going to blame it on being out of your hands. Quite frankly, if you just do the right thing, you wouldn't have any problems. But everything you seem to do is just wrong.
You're right, Your Honor. I'm getting on the right track now. If y'all would give me one more chance if y'all would give me a chance at a scram.
Okay. And let me just tell you this. Let me just tell you this. And that is, and Miss Yermolenko will tell you, you can ask me for one more chance, but you better make it good.
I swear I will, Your Honor. I promise.
No, yeah, okay. Because I have, I think, 365 days or 365 reasons why you should make it good. And
yeah. Because just like Judge Kenneth King, Judge Simpson is pretty fair. He's a little tougher, but he is pretty fair. But don't cross him. You cross him, you cross your head with that judicial mallet. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
And again, if you don't believe me, ask your attorney. I will use that.
Okay.
I don't have a problem doing it if you don't do what I tell you to do.
Yes, Your Honor. I hear you.
And I don't accept a whole lot of excuses.
That's right. The excuses go nowhere with him if you screw up. You screw up, boy, you're done. You might as well just go ahead and turn yourself into the jail, because that's usually what he tell you. Report to that jail by 6 o'clock. If you out, report to that jail by 6 o'clock, or the warrant will be sworn out. But we continue.
Yes, Your Honor. I know.
What is that address on Frederick, Ms. Yermolenko?
928
Open your mind. Open your mind.
Frederick Street, Unit 1.
But she is out the door, because like I said, he's already decided. That's why he asked the question. What are you going to do when I let you out? Because he had already decided he's going to let her ass out. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
That's not subsidized, is it?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. I asked Ms. Donnell.
Okay. Just to make sure that there's no problem with his. So here's what I'm going to do so that we can see if you can follow instructions for any given period in time. I'm actually going to set her sentencing out to March 1st, 2023. I'm going to release the defendant on a personal recognizance bond. Previous conditions, personal recognizance, $10,000 bond with her previous conditions, but I'm going to add some other conditions. So I'm signing a new order regarding drug testing. She is to test 2 times per week. Right. That's at community corrections. I'm then going to place you on a scram tether unit. I've signed that order. You must, and I'm going to indicate on here that I want that scram on prior to your release.
You have to put it on before you walk out the jail, though, because we need to track you. We need to track you because you don't like to do what you're told to do. Hoes are stupid. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
I'm also going to order, at least for the time being, that you're also going to be placed on a GPS tether for home confinement to that address, to the 928 Frederick, Unit 1.
And you must stay in the damn house as well. Stay your ass home. But we continue.
In Ipsy. You can only leave except, the only exceptions would be work. We will allow you to leave for the work interview you talked about and for drug testing. You understand that, young lady?
Open your mind.
Yes, Your Honor.
Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind.
And let's see, you're telling me you can do this. Let's see if you can make it to March 1st with these conditions.
Now, she got a whole month and a half, well, a little more than a month to not screw up. But if she does, she'll be right back here on Dark XoDus on the YouTube page of T.P.O.T. You know. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Anything further, Ms. Yermolenko?
No, Your Honor. So Ms. Donnell will just contact probation once she's released. Is that right?
Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to put her into a room right now with probation. They'll get the information.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, he's going to set her out right now. So she's going to talk to probation and she'll probably be out of the jail in the next 2 hours. Free again to go right out there and screw the hell up. But we continue.
Okay, Miss Tang, if you could do that for us. Something happened with the physical computer here in this courtroom.
Yes, Judge, that's for probation intake and Ms. Donnell, correct?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Court does call the case of the People versus Emily Gordon.
Well, all right, we go to our next case because this is crimes, confessions, kookery, and comedy. Now we enter into kookery, but we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Rachel McDuffie for the people.
Ms. Gordon?
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Emily Gordon.
All right. And you're here on an arraignment. I guess you don't have counsel on this yet. Ma'am, you are before the court on the charge that alleges that on or about July 30th, 2022, at the location of 5301 Macaulay Drive, Superior Township, that being the hospital, that you did commit an assault and battery upon a Kristen Keaton.
What is up with these women
Open your
at
mind.
the hospital acting a damn fool? There's somewhere where people are trying to help them, and they in there acting a damn fool.
The prophet of thought.
But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Do you understand the nature of those charges, ma'am?
I'm sorry, I don't recall this.
Oh boy, here we go. Another person who can't answer yes or no. We continue.
Okay, but do you understand what you're charged with?
No, I don't.
So he's going to read the charges out again because this is how he has to do these people. All right? Because they try to act like they can't remember what they were arrested for. You were arrested, obviously, because you sitting in a green jumpsuit as well. So you have a good recollection of what you were arrested for and what you were doing before you got arrested, correct? But we continue.
Ma'am, you are before the court on a complaint that alleges that on or about July 30th, 2022, at the location of 5301 Macaulay Drive, Superior Township, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan. The complaint alleges that you did make an assault and or an assault and battery upon the following person, that being a Kristen Keaton, contrary to Michigan statutes. Ma'am, do you understand the charges against you?
I understand what you're saying. I don't understand because this has never
Now,
been.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't yes or no, kooky lady. But we continue.
Expired. I don't know if somebody else used my name.
Ma'am.
Look at the district attorney like, even she's saying to herself, these hoes are stupid. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
I'm not asking you whether or not you did it or not. Do you understand what you are being charged with?
I don't know a Kristen Keat.
Once again, I don't know. Not yes or no, but I don't know to a yes or no question. This is a failure to communicate here. And look at the look on the Honorable Judge Simpson's face. He's like, oh God, another kook. Why do I always get these kooks in my courtroom? But we continue.
Do you understand whether you know this person or not? Do you understand what you are being charged with?
I don't understand why you are trying to charge me with
I'm
that.
not, that's not.
Oh boy. I have no idea why you're charging me with this, Your Honor. Even though I was the person there doing it, I have no idea why you're charging me with this, Your Honor. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Not my question to you. Do you understand what you are charged with?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Thank you. That is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 93 days in jail, $500 fine plus court costs. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
First question I have for you is, do you wish to be represented by an attorney?
Yes, I do, because I don't recall this altercation.
Yes, I do, because I don't recall this altercation. Okay. So, being that you don't recall it, you definitely need an attorney, right? And look at her. And look up top. Look at the district attorney. It's like, oh boy, another one. But we continue.
This is a public defender case.
Thank you. Assistant Public Defender Melissa Kleeman on behalf of Ms. Gordon. She waives the formal reading and stands mute, and we are asking for an adjournment of the pretrial. As to bond, she is being held without bond on a felony matter, so we are asking the court to set a nominal bond in this case so that she...
Oh, so she's already in jail on some felony charge that doesn't even have a bond. So it's probably pretty serious. It's probably a pretty serious felony. And wait a minute, let me guess. She doesn't recall that either. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Gets jail credit.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute, the court will enter a not guilty plea. Pretrial in this matter will be adjourned February 21st, 2023.
10:30.
These are all set at 10:30.
Yes, please.
Seriously? All right, fine. 10:30 a.m. Well, never mind. It's not. Bond in this case will be set in the amount of $1,000. I'll give a 10% privilege on that. It's a condition of her release.
Yeah, because he could have set it at anything. She's not going anywhere anyway. He could have set it at a nickel. She's not going anywhere. She's held on some felony case and there's no bond, meaning it's serious because they could have put $1 million bond on. They could have put 500,000, 50,000, you know, 30,000, whatever. She has no bond, which means it's pretty serious. But like I said, she probably doesn't recall that one either. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
For standard conditions, including no assaultive behavior, there's to be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal drugs. I'm also going to indicate, ma'am, that you are to have no contact, which shouldn't be an issue since you say you don't know, with Kristen Key. You understand that?
Yes, how do you spell her last name? Yes, I understand.
Keaton.
Keaton. Kristen
How do you spell her last name?
Keaton? I've never heard of this one.
Okay, ma'am.
Look at the district attorney. The district attorney is laughing like, oh God. I mean, this lady's a kook. She's a kook. Locked up in jail. There's a lot of them because they have a tendency to warehouse these kooky people in jails because there's not enough mental institutions. All right? They don't do anything about these people. They let them just walk around and just be crazy as hell. All right? Nothing happens to these people until what they do rises to the level of criminality. And then they turn around and throw them in jail. When all along they should have been somewhere in a rubber room in a straitjacket. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Your Honor.
I'm glad you think it's funny.
Ma'am.
The prophet of thought.
Yes, Miss McDuffie.
Keaton is a nurse at the hospital, so it's understandable that she might not have a relationship with her on a personal level beyond this incident. Given that, the people are also going to make the same request that is commonly given in these cases, which is no going to the hospital except for emergency care.
Now, she doesn't remember. Now, the DA is saying this is one of the nurses at the hospital where she was at acting a damn fool up in there. Maybe that's why she doesn't recall it. She don't remember being in the hospital at all either. All right? And probably don't remember what she was in the hospital for. So she definitely don't remember assaulting the nurse. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do.
Stay your ass away from that damn hospital.
You know.
So, ma'am, you are also not to go to St. Joe's Mercy Hospital. Except for emergencies. You understand that?
Yes.
The prophet of thought.
So
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
So this, I don't understand. Can I have a breakout room?
No.
No. Break your ass up out of here. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
We don't have any more information about the case quite yet anyway, ma'am. As soon as we get discovery, someone from my office will be up to talk with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Cleveland. All right.
The prophet of thought.
Now, this should have been marked medical because obviously this woman suffers from UMI. You know, undiagnosed mental illness. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Or calls the case, people.
Now, when you have these
Open your mind. Open your
kooks,
mind.
right?
Open
These
your mind.
kooky
Open
people,
your
they
mind.
just
Open your
kooky folks, right? And like I said, they don't do nothing about these people who walk around here with UMI, right? They walk around, you see them all the time. They walk the streets, you know, they sitting somewhere talking to the wind. They walking around and 20 below zero weather with no shoes on, or they're walking around with 9 coats on in the middle of August. So these people obviously are walking around with UMI, and no one cares. You just kind of walk by them on the street, you ride by them in your car or whatever. You don't pay them no mind. The police does not pay them any mind, right? And once they do something that's considered illegal or criminal, now what happens is they get arrested. These people are thrown in jail, and when they throw them in jail, most of the time they don't give them any treatment while they're in there. I mean, because jails are designed to incarcerate people. They're not designed to give people mental evaluation or give them psychotropic drugs or whatever they do to them. That's really not a function of a jail, right? So you have these people who have this undiagnosed mental illness on the outside, and now they're in jail with this UMI, and they're going to court, and guess what? They can't really comprehend what's going on. Certain things they can't remember. They talk real abstract, and a lot of the things that come out of their mouth don't make any sense. It's to the point where it just seems like straight kookery. But if these people had gotten some type of treatment for whatever their mental illness is, whether it be their parents refer them to it or somebody else, make it so they get some type of treatment, maybe, just maybe, their mental illness would be contained and they wouldn't be out there doing things that have risen to the level of criminality. Because see, now they're just not a person with UMI. Now they're a UMI person who has committed some type of crime. So now they are subject to the criminal justice system, when what they really should be a part of is the mental health system.
Open your mind. Open your mind. Open
But
your mind. Open your mind.
we're going to wrap that there. But before we go, it's time for T.P.O.T's bonus clip. Yeah, it's time for a bonus clip, because I always got one of those for you good folk. This here is more comedy than everything else. We've done crimes, confessions, and kookery. This is more comedy, to be honest. This brother here, it's just funny. That's all. I mean, he's not charged with nothing too bad, but it's some lightheartedness comes to the court of the Honorable Judge J. Simpson. So let's get at it. And as always, fair use, Negroes, fair use.
Court calls the case. People versus Alfred Jackson.
McDuffie for the people.
Sylvana Reed, Assistant Public Defender with and on behalf of Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, could you please state your name for the record?
Alfred Jackson.
Alfred Jackson. Oh, there he is.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Jackson is planning on pleading guilty as charged to this matter today.
Is that correct, Mr. Jackson?
Yes, sir.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
State your name again.
Alfred Jackson.
All right, you can put your hand down. Sir, it's this court's understanding you're going to plead guilty to the charge of trespass. That is a misdemeanor. It is punishable by up to 30 days in jail, $250 fine plus court costs.
Yeah, I mean, he's here for trespass. The most he could get is 30 days off of this. So, I mean, these type of charges don't get people a lot of time, all right? And that's all he's charged with. So they'll probably make him pay a $200 fine or whatever, and to get him on up out of there. But we continue.
Understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Still wish to plead guilty?
Yes.
And to that charge,
Yes.
how do you plead?
I plead guilty to it because I shouldn't have been there, which
I plead guilty to it because I shouldn't have been there. Yickety, 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 yak, blah, 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 blah. Just say, yes, I'm guilty.
Open your mind.
And that's
Open
it.
your mind. Open your mind.
Negroes cannot answer simple questions. It's always an answer with a soliloquy along with the answer, especially if the question is yes or no. Always a soliloquy. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
was dropping off my kids, but that's not nobody's problem but mine. But I ain't, that's either in the past.
Okay, I just asked you. All right.
Look at the judge. The judge is like, I just asked you if you pleading guilty or not. You know, I didn't want the whole story. I didn't want you to take us down memory lane. And look in the top right-hand corner. Look at his lawyer. Even his lawyer is like, Jesus, man, just say guilty and shut your ass up. And the district attorney is like, she's laughing too. She's laughing too. Like, man, just say guilty. Jeez. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
I just asked you how you pled. So guilty?
Yes.
All right. Now you understand that by pleading guilty, that you'll not have a trial of any kind.
Now he looking away. He looking at the roaches crawling on the floor now. Now he's saying nothing. But we continue.
Mr. Jackson?
Stated something and it just...
Yes. Yes.
You understand that you won't have a trial?
Yes.
Because of that, you're giving up certain rights. You're giving up your right to call witnesses to speak for you at trial or to have this court compel their attendance. You're giving up your right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You're also giving up your right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent, not have that silence used against you. And you're giving up your right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that, sir?
Yes.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right?
Yes.
Are you on probation or parole?
No.
Has anybody promised you anything?
Nothing.
To get you to plead to this charge?
No.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No.
You're doing this voluntarily?
Yes.
Of your own free will?
Yes.
And because you believe that you're guilty?
Yes.
Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your
March
mind.
16, 2022, at the location of 9446 MacArthur Boulevard, Superior Township, Washington County, State of Michigan. Did you go onto those premises of Sycamore Meadows and Danbury Park?
No, I was at what's that? 8634 MacArthur Boulevard. I don't know about that address.
I don't know about that one. We continue.
All right, but you were in Sycamore Meadows and Danbury Park, right?
No, I was in Sycamore Meadows.
Okay. You were in Sycamore Meadows.
Yes, that's
right?
where I got arrested at, in Sycamore Meadows.
All right. Had you been told that you weren't permitted to be on Sycamore Meadows property by Deputy Gambos?
Yes.
Previously.
Yeah, but I had thought the reason why I came on the property.
Well, the reason why, Your Honor, is because of, not just yes. Well, the reason why, Your Honor, is because of this, that, and the other thing. But we continue.
You know.
I had to trespass and I thought it was over with. I came on the property because they know me, so he hopped out and grabbed me, and that's when I.
Okay. You had previously been told not to be on the property, right?
Yes, yes.
And you were on the property?
Yes.
All right. And you were mistaken as to whether or not that trespassing notice had expired. Is that correct?
Yes, I had called the rent office and everything, and they alleged it was over with, but by the police eyes, it wasn't over with. And then my lawyer told me what day, because I was telling her, I'm like, I wasn't on the trespassing list the day that I dropped my kids off. And That's when they see.
Well, I thought it was over with, and I called the office, and they thought it was over with, and the police didn't think it was over with. So, I was just thinking, well, I'm gonna go back on there anyway, just to see what happened, and then. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
All right, let me ask you this. With everything you know now, were you trespassing on the property that day?
Basically, yeah, you can say that. Yeah, I was.
Well, basically, were you trespassing on the property that day?
Yes, I was.
Yes, I was.
Open your mind. Open your mind.
And you want to plead guilty to this charge? Is that correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
Counsel, I complied with the.
The judge can't even keep a straight face. Neither can the district attorney, and neither can his lawyer. They can't even keep a straight face. I mean, this is just funny. I mean, it's not stupid. It's just funny. I guess because, he's pleaded to the charge and he's answered the questions. But when he answered the question, he goes into this long paragraph about, what he was doing and why he was there. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Court will, would it be proper to accept this defendant's plea?
People were satisfied a half hour ago, Your Honor.
The district attorney says, shoot, dude, it was done as far as they was concerned a half hour ago before he started telling all these damn stories. But we continue.
Defense is satisfied as well.
His defense satisfied.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will accept the defendant's plea of guilty to this charge. Finally.
Just like finally. But we continue.
Young man, I would normally just say, what brings you out that way?
All right, Your Honor, I'm gonna just be real sweet with you, right? So
okay.
I was dropping my kids off. So in order for the police to get called, I was dropping my kid off to my baby mother's house. So I got a baby mama that's just loud, and she's just completely loud. So I'm dropping the kids off, and then I was
Your
telling
Honor,
you that's how
I do believe that
got on
his
the
children
property.
live at Sycamore Meadows. And so that is the reason he would have to visit the property.
Yes, that's all he had to do was say that. Oh, that's where my kids live with the baby mama. That's all he had to say. He had to go into a story, though. But the judge knew that. The judge knew once he asked him a question, he's going into a damn soliloquy. He's not just going to answer it, straight up in like 10 seconds. No, a long, down the path soliloquy is coming. It's forthwith. It's forthcoming. But we continue. Fair use, Negroes. Fair use.
Thank you for simplifying that, Miss Reed. Okay, so that we can get a full picture of this, I'm going to refer the defendant to probation for PSI and maybe some recommendations as to how we can keep him from doing this. Sentencing will be March 1st, 2023, 9 a.m. All right, young man, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you into a breakout room with my probation department so they can get some information.
Okay.
Okay, so when they ask you a question, just answer their question.
All right.
All right?
Don't
be trying to give them all that information.
Yeah, just answer the question. They ask you something, don't give them a long paragraph, goddammit. Yes, no, up, down, not yes. And, well, what happened was, I went over there and this was there and my baby mama and my kids and the police and Oh, man, but this brought some lightheartedness to the courtroom, though. It did. It did. But we continue.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Yep.
Court calls the case.
So we're gonna wrap it up there, man. You know, like I said, that was just comedy, man. You know, just straight comedy. Cause the brother, he wasn't charged with that. He's charged with a trespassing charge. I mean, the most he could have did was 30 days on it, which would have came out to about 15. So it's not like he was facing a lot of time. It was just funny, you know, because he was pleading guilty. He was answering the questions, but, you know, he couldn't just answer the question. He just had to go into this whole long, you know, drawn out story. And the judge asked the district attorney, are they satisfied? And the district attorney was like, we were satisfied a half an hour ago. Oh, man, but that was, you know, that was just funny, man. That was just funny, man. And I wish the young man luck. You know, I know a lot of us brothers, man, we have these issues with these baby mamas.
Open
and,
your mind. Open your mind. Open your
hopefully
mind.
the brother see his way through it and don't have to get arrested again because of it. But the thing is this, man, when it comes to, you know, these court cases, right? All types of people going to come through here from all walks of life. People charged with all types of crimes. Some of the crimes are bizarre. Some of the crimes are outrageous. Some of them are serious. Some of them are minor. And some of them are straight out of a novel about crazy people. But at the end of it all, I think no matter what, these people all should be treated fairly by the criminal justice system. And the criminal justice system should have an even hand depending on what these people are to allege have done. And it should be based on the merit of the people. You know, their criminal record, you know, how many times they've been in jail, how many times they've been arrested, all that kind of stuff. Those are all factors when it comes to criminal justice. And one thing I can say about Judge Simpson is he applies a pretty equal hand, and he does give people a chance. He will. Now, he's one of those judges that you don't want to cross, but he does have the humanity and he has the empathy for people. And I think that makes him a decent judge. I think that makes him a decent judge because justice shouldn't be about the personality of the person who wears the robe per se, which it often is, you know, it often is reflected in these people's personality, but it shouldn't be. And if it's going to be reflective of the personality, I think it should be the personality of people who actually have some degree of humanity towards other people. And I think it should be applied according to what they're charged with, what they're accused of. That should be it. Should be anything else. Especially when the people are humble towards the court. It's different if they're in there acting a fool, you know, and disrespecting the judge and all this kind of stuff. That's different. But if a person is humble before a court, I think that should grant them some type of grace and, once again, some type of humanity. You know? But it remains to be seen. Y'all know I will be bringing y'all more of this. But this is what you see in the courtroom of the Honorable Judge J. Cedric Simpson, especially on those days when it's full of crimes, confessions, kookery, and comedy. But that's all. I appreciate you good folk coming through to check this out. You could have spent your time anywhere. You decided to spend it here with T.P.O.T, and it is appreciated. I don't take your good folk lightly, man. I never have and I never will. You got my word on that. So, with that, I will leave you good folk with 3 words. You know, like I always do. Open your mind. Peace, folk. X with another.
The darkness continues.
Only from T.P.O.T Media. Open your minds.